Hi everyone, my name is Alex Boga. I'm the co-founder of Novac Dawn Studio, and one of my responsibilities in the company is to create the concept art or the design of our miniatures. So after we began the Red Riding Hood project, I thought it might be fun or it might be interesting to involve people in the creation process of our models, or at least to show some of the first steps in creating a miniature. Unfortunately, this idea came a bit late in the day, and I've already completed a good number of designs for the Red Riding Hood project. But what I didn't do is I've recorded some of the process, and this thing has to start somewhere. So I'll share with you some of the steps used to create the wolf miniature. This video will be more about rendering in black and white a sketch, but in the near future, we'll do live sessions where people can see the whole process, comment, give opinions, and hopefully even learn something. So for now we have the wolf. He is part of the first characters to be released in the Red Riding Hood series and was the first character for this line. I hope you will enjoy the video and there will be way more on the way. Many thanks. Okay, so every design, every miniature concept will start with a sketch or a little thumbnail. So this can be really quick. I'll just search for a good pose or a good composition. So it's usually I'll do something like this. It's very rough, and just to get an idea of how a miniature will look. After I have a few of these, I can add more details, or it's quite easy to change things where it's on such a small scale. So let's say we want to add the weapon, the shield to this guy. Just easy to do, or make him look in another way. I'll just do that. So I'm not really paying attention to anything beside the general shape of the whole thing and maybe the composition. So what I usually do is make a bunch of these little thumbnails, and it was the same for the wolf. So again, just very rough, just to get an idea of the overall shape of the miniature. Now, normally at this stage I don't really think about how the miniature is going to be created, like, or produced, because the more extreme the pose, the more pieces you'll have, so it might be more difficult in the casting of it and things like that. But at this point, I don't really think of those things unless it's something that's really complex. So, for example, if you have a character like Medusa, for example, and you have a lot of snakes or a lot of parts that go out from the miniature, so like horns, like big horns or anything like that, then I'll have to pay a bit of attention to those sorts of elements. So for the wolf, I couldn't find all the files because he was made about 2 years ago, and I'm quite messy at the with my Photoshop files, so I couldn't find them. There may be some on some external hard drive, but I had a bit of a problem with him. So while doing thumbnails like this, sometimes I'll make a bigger one. So, but again, it's something really, really quick, and I don't really think about what I'm doing. I just care about the overall shape. But with the wolf, while doing this, I had a pretty hard time because I couldn't find a good shape or a good image for the character that looked very distinct. So I just made like over and over, just made like normal werewolves, I guess, and they didn't feel that special. At that time, we didn't know we would be partnering with Creaturecaster, and they're doing all the production for us. So we thought we would do the production ourselves. So the idea was that we would do something that would be easy to cast, so we could do it ourselves, like in house. So that was the challenge because we needed a cool looking character, but I I couldn't find something that would be easy to cast, easy to produce, or something that we could do and still look quite different from the werewolves that you can find. So I just kept doing this sort of rough, very rough sketches, and wasn't happy with any of them. So as I said, I don't know where all the files are. I just found a few of them. So there were, I don't know, maybe 10 of these guys, maybe a bit more detailed than what I'm doing here. But yeah, what I found was this. So this is like a thumbnail sheet that I tried to find a good shape or a good silhouette, and this one worked. I like the mass of it, so having something like really bulky, like a really powerful werewolf was kind of nice. It was this. I also found there were way more. This I found. I'm not sure if this is from that batch, but just found him and thought it was from from the first ones. These again, I can't remember doing them, but I was doing a lot of these sort of little sketches, so there may be from that. This again was I was trying a pose or something, but as I said, I had quite a hard time figuring out how he will look because he would also have his pack, so he would not be alone. And we needed a design that will make him really stand out from what the normal wolves or werewolves look. So, in the end, I just said, well, that's it, and we'll do what we can. And I just made something that I thought looks cool and didn't really think about how we're gonna produce it or how we're gonna cast it. And after entering that mindset, it just clicked, and I made this sketch. So this was the first sketch for the wolf. So as it is now, it's quite problematic because there are a lot of pieces to it. There are a lot of thin parts that will sometimes can cause problems with miniatures. So, but I was really happy with this design, and we just figured, well, we'll make it work somehow. So we ended up with the sketch, a very complex miniature, very hard for us to do, but we decided to go with it, and I started cleaning a bit the whole concept. Now, I normally work when doing miniature concept art or miniature designs just in line work, so I just kind of. Sorry. I'll just put a low opacity on this and just draw over. So I'll get like a line work brush and just slowly start and clean all the details and make everything so it's understandable. It's usually what I do, like maybe 99% of the time while working on miniatures. But for some reason this time I painted over the whole thing. Maybe just because it was very early on in the project, we didn't really know what we were gonna do. So I thought it may be nice to have a more a look like an illustration rather than a concept. So instead of just doing the line work, I started painting. But it's usually what I would do is just something like this and just keep going for the whole thing until the concept is very clear, so it's easy for the sculptor to see every detail and every aspect of them. Sometimes it's required to do a different angle, but it's very rarely required. So yeah. Okay, so I have recorded the whole process, or almost the whole process of painting him. So I'll share that with you now. It's the video is very sped up because it took a few hours to do it, but I think you can see what's going on there. So hope you'll enjoy it, and see you soon. Okay, so that was the painting process. And after I stopped recording, I did a bit more work on him, just cleaning some of the elements and adding a bit of stuff in the background. I added a carriage here. Maybe it's wrecked on the side of the road. The shape of some trees, moon, like some trees here too, and cleaned a bit the whole thing. But after I got to this stage, I realized I wasn't really happy with the head. So then it became a whole thing where I tried all manner of different heads for him, and I wasn't quite happy uh, with them for a while. One of the things I added after the recording was again some zombie-like creatures right here, and some people which with pitchforks and torches, and maybe an inn or some tavern, like it's been on the side of the road. Again, to give it a bit more of a storytelling element to the whole thing. So this was one of the first heads I tried for him, or the one that he had from the sketch. I wasn't really happy with it and tried another one. It was this one. I wasn't really happy with this one either, so I went with a more wolf type head, and it was this. Again, something didn't feel right, and he seemed like too extreme, and maybe it needed something extreme for the head too. So after I guess a couple of tries, I know there are a few more versions that I tried and just kept painting over them. The final one was this, so I felt this was more appropriate for the character and how he's portrayed. It's really exaggerated, but I think the whole character is like this, so it fits him. So this was the one that was left as a final, and the concept, I think, got cleaned now and entirely, and it was the final piece, after which the sculpt was made. Actually, the sculpt was made with a different head, because I think it was this one. So we just changed some things, but I think it came out looking really good. But the concept wasn't quite finished then. It was still a bit rough, because we had to do his back also. But yeah, in the end, this was the one that stuck, and I think it's okay for him. So this is the video for the wolf character, but again, it's something that I had recorded and thought I would share it with you and start this whole thing somehow. I have some other recordings for some other characters, for which I'll do similar videos if you're interested. But we want to get to the point where we can kind of get rid of the recordings I have and start doing these characters in live sessions. So it's something that I think it would be really cool, and people might enjoy it. So actually doing the whole thing with the thumbnail, the little sketch, this sort of thing, like doing everything along with the people who want to see it. So we can talk about it, we can explore different ideas and do whatever. So that's gonna come in the near future. We just have to get rid of some more recordings, but those are for some characters that are still not released, but will be quite soon. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and all the best. Many thanks.